Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is November 6, 2022. In this video, we will analyze the S&P 500 ETF, the SPY, the nasdaq 100 ETF, the QQQ, and the Russell 2000 ETF, IWM, for potential trade locations and price levels to monitor for the coming week. We're going to start off with the weekly price chart of the SPY. As you can see, just from the moving average here, you can see that the trend is down. And looking at this trend line as well, you also see this trend line indicating we're seeing a lower high. This composite volume profile from the pandemic low to the present, and the most traded price is somewhere around this 439.55. That's what we call the POC, the point of control. And in addition to that, I also have identified some of the high volume zone near the proximity of the current price. And you can see we do have a little bit of a resistance for the high volume zone up here near this 396 area, and also this pivot low here somewhere around 390, 391. Then we also have this pandemic high, the post-pandemic high level here, and that will be somewhere near the 340 area. Switching over the daily price chart here, you can see that the price last week, it came up and bumped up against this zone here, this 390 area, and got rejected and pushed down. And looking at the trend line, as you can see, the SPY got rejected up here. Got a false breakout of this trend line and now came back and back test this trend line. Try to get a bounce back up here. Maybe it will try to move up back to this 390 area. But I'm more leaning on toward that the price might come back down to retest this October low down near this 350 area. And if I put in the composite volume profile from this swing here to the present, and also put in some of these high volume zone, we can see that the price is trying to hold this zone. And what I'm going to be watching, let me zoom into this 4-hour range here, the time period. And what we're going to be watching is to see will the price be able to get back up above this 377.98 area. Then you get above this zone and move up to this 382. If you could get up to this 382, then I'd be looking for a 390 target up here. But if the price unable to stay inside this zone and move up, instead come back down, and if you get into this zone here at 368.70 area, then I'm looking for a price to continue to move down for this October low and targeting initially somewhere around this 358. Now here are the previous week price range, and as you can see, it closed inside of the lower range of the weekly expected move. And this week's range will be somewhere in between the 390.50 and 387.75 for the upper range, and 364.25 and 362 on the lower range. Now notice that the upper range is right against this this zone here, the edge of this zone, right near this near the 390.55 area. So that's in confluence with this this high volume zone, and the lower range is right inside of this balance area and pretty much sitting right here near this high volume edge here. So we could see price move down into the zone or push up and try to get into this upper range and try to make its way back up to the 390.50. Now remember, we also see a intraday gap here that need to get filled down here at this 364 area. So that would kind of put a little bit of a confluence in this weekly lower range. And then also we have the urgent point of control somewhere around 358. And looking at this weekly chart of the QQQ, we also see that the trend is down based on this 30-week moving average. And also in addition to that, looking at this trend line, also highlight the lower high. We also have this pre-pandemic high here near this 237.47. Now putting on this composite volume profile, we see that the most traded price between the pandemic low to the present is at 317 area. and this is the composite point of control. And here are some of the high volume zone from this composite volume profile. We see that there is this zone up here near the 278.83 area, and also there is this zone near the October low here, somewhere around 261. And we have this zone right above the pre-pandemic high, and that is sitting at this 243 and 247.55 area. And switching over to the daily chart, we see that the price closed outside below the expected move, the weekly expected move from last week. And see on Friday it closed with a hammer spinning top direct candle and basically fill the Thursday gap here. Next week's weekly expected move, the upper range is somewhere between 277.50 to 275, and the lower range is between 254 and 252. So what we can be watching here is to see will the price come up to this zone near this 277 area, because this upper range of the weekly move is in confluence with the upper edge of this high volume zone. Then also we see that this right here, the lower range of the weekly expected move, is in confluence to the October low. And looking at this 4-hour chart here with this composite volume profile from this high here bumping up against this trend line to the present, we notice that there is a high balance area right here, this high volume balance area that we're looking at. So we'd be watching to see will it come up into this range here, this high volume zone here from the large composite volume profile, and see would it be able to push up into this upper range at the 277.50 area. Then we are targeting possibly getting back up here at this this edge near the 283, 284 area. But if it's unable to hold this zone here, this balance area, and it break below, then I'd be targeting, looking for it to come down to this 254, essentially taking out this October low. But there could be a little bit of a choppiness here inside of this 260 area in this zone here before it pushes down to this October low here. Looking at the weekly chart of the IWM, we also see it is in a downtrend as well with this moving average. In addition to this trend line, we also see a lower high. Now, in addition to that, we also highlighted this pre-pandemic high, and the price is above the pre-pandemic high right now. And also this composite volume profile, we see that the point of control is up at this 222.47 or near the 222.50 area. So that is quite a way above where the current price is, which is sitting somewhere around this 178.68. Now, in addition to that, I also put in this zone here, and this zone somewhere sitting at near the 190 area, this high volume zone. So basically, I'm watching to see would it be able to come up, which is in confluence with this declining trend line. And switching over to the daily chart, we see that the price actually did come back in on Friday and close inside of the weekly expected move, the range of the weekly expected move. So right now for next week, we are looking at the upper range between 185.60 to 185, and the lower range is between 171.80 to 170.60. And notice that the lower range is actually in confluence with the pre-pandemic high, and also the upper range is near this trend line here, the declining trend line, and also this upper pivot, this pivot high near this 185. And zooming into the 4-hour chart here, I also put in the composite volume profile between this pivot high here up against this declining trend line to the present. And notice that we are seeing a little bit of a double distribution here. And the price is near this zone here, this low volume zone. And right now, I'm watching to see will the price come down into the lower distribution and be looking for a possible move down to this lower range of the weekly expected move and retest this pre-pandemic high here, then possibly work itself down to the October low. And if it could stay above this zone here, this low volume zone, then I'll be looking for a possible move for it to come up to the upper range near this 185.60 and also this low volume zone here. And that's pretty much, targeting this upper trend line here, this high volume zone from the huge volume composite volume profile between the pandemic low to the present. If you'd like to see this type of analysis from me on another ticker symbol, let me know in the comment section below. And be sure to smash the thumbs up to help me promote this video. Thank you for watching and stay safe.